Namaskaram. The heart of our mentorship at HLS all started with we helping students to crack audit examinations. Because more than 80% of the students who fail in Group 1 largely fail because of audit. And we have been continuously working on various methods and methodologies which will help students improve their score in audit. Now, after 5 years of research, we finally formulated one systematic plan which will definitely work for sure. So there are a lot of hits and misses across the attempts, which it worked in certain attempts, which it did not. But this time, it's a foolproof plan. In this video, we'll clearly explain, along with Manita, who is appearing for her May 25 examinations. Right. So we recently done something, and it has given us extraordinary results. Now let us understand the nature of auditing. So this is the CA final syllabus for May 25. Now you might be wondering, the syllabus is updated. If you look at the institute manual, there are only few things which got updated. You need not worry about the change in chapters. They have added some practical scenarios and questions at the end of each chapter. That's about it. Okay. So Manvita, explaining this. Module 1. Okay, Module 1 has got 7 chapters: quality control, general auditing principles, audit planning, strategy and execution, materiality risk assessment and internal control, audit evidence, completion and review, and reporting. Now, all of this are completely standard driven. Okay, these chapters are completely standard driven. When they are standard driven, it makes sense for you to get an understanding from a lecturer or a mentor. So here we drive everything through a mentor so that things become faster for you. So these are standard driven chapters. Now here you have the 500 series, you have the 300 series, you have the 700 series. Okay, so these are largely how things would work. Now SQC1 and all of that. So everything is a standard driven chapters. So the weightage of this is at least 45 marks. It could be more, but at least 45 is module 1. Now this is clearly one significant portion of auditing syllabus which you have to leverage upon. Now, the next set of chapters, 8, 9, 10, 10 11, these are also standard driven, which are special standards, not the regular set of standards which you do normally in a course of audit. So, this 8, 9, 10, 11, what we have done is, we made our students to write a comparative note. So, much before they started coaching, much before they started their entire preparation, we wanted them to get an initial understanding of these 4 chapters, and which has given us a fantastic result. Manvita, can you show me what you have done for chapter 8? Yes. So for chapter 8, what we have done is, for each and every standard, we converted this into a comparative notes. Let's say for specialized areas, SA 800, 805, 810. In each of the case, what exactly is the standard name, what exactly is the objective, and what exactly is the purpose of the standard, and how do you distribute, and what are the procedures you will involve, and most importantly, what are the reporting requirements. So that way, for each and every chapter, chapter 8, chapter 9, we have converted this into a comparative format. So 8, 9, 10, 11 is completely converted into a comparative format. Your 3400, 3402, 3420, everything, right? This is all you have to do initially. There are a lot of things which has to be done subsequently, but it just takes one day. In one day, you know what is what, and when you compare, it is easy. So now you have this on the grip. So this is what needs to be done for chapters 8, 9, 10, 11. Comparative analysis is the key. Now you can hold this. So this will come for 10 to 15 marks. Okay, so this is top sorted. Now chapters 12 to 18 are purely comprehension based. None of them are standard driven. They're purely comprehension based. So you need to understand it in the format of a Q&A. You need to know the trigger and you need to answer them. For example, these are the papers in November and May. Now, when you see a particular question, it's not exactly a question, it's a paragraph. You have to identify the question within the paragraph. Now, if I ask you a specific question, for example, if I ask you about 4D, now this is 4, right? 4D, now this is the paragraph, Manvita. What is the question in this? How would you identify?
First, we have to look at the what is the context of the question, and then we look into the case law. What is
absolutely?
So first, they're asking the contention of Mr. Pankaj is tenable as per the provisions of arbitration.
So see here whether the contention is correct. Now, what is the contention? Since the arbiter did not sign, the award is invalid. So it's a simple, small question which is converted into a paragraph to confuse you, or sometimes it could be relevant also. So first step is to find the question within the paragraph. Now, when you do this exercise in this format, it is very easy for you. Now, can you show me the rest of the chapters? So for the rest of the chapters, what we have guided them is make very small, I would say largely single page notes. For example, investigation. This is what you have to do. What is the difference between investigation and audit? What are the special issues in investigation? And what are the important aspects, types of investigation, special aspects in connection, investigation on behalf of a bank and all. So funds, cash receipts, customer ledger. So that's it. So any question which might come from investigation at the value of 4 to 5 marks, you can easily answer. This is enough, right, for you to answer the investigation. Similarly for forensic accounting. Similarly for PSUs, internal audit, group audit, audit of banks. So even for all these chapters 12 to 18, you should prepare handwritten short notes. Again, there are multiple short notes already available. Institute itself gives you saransh, but there is a merit in terms of doing handwritten short notes. This is exactly what has to happen for chapters 12 to 18. Now, this can be done even before we start coaching. This can be done even if you're reading audit for the very first time. Now, let us practically understand the experience from Manvita's side, whether this is working or not, and you can decide for yourself. Manvita, so how much time did you actually take for writing the notes set for the whole of chapters 8 to 18, almost for 11 chapters? How much time did you actually spend?
I think about 5 days.
In 5 days, you're able to complete both the reading and writing notes, right? Yeah. So you have done without looking into videos, directly from the textbook.
Directly from the textbook. Yes.
So before and after this week, when we did that 1 week audit boot camp, what has changed?
I mean, audit is a subject where everyone is scared of. So first, I need to change my mindset about the approach, how to approach audit. So I just thought the more simpler it looks, the more I can retain the subject, or I can read it like multiple times. So I found short notes is a way to keep things easy. So that's why it takes time. It does take time, but it is just one-time investment of your time. Once it is made, then things are sorted. You just have to like look into your short notes. Like you can even get to revise even 10 times if it just takes like 1 hour every day you invest, and then you're done with the chapter. So the more number of times you get to study audit, the more is the retention. So I didn't like the approach of studying through the book, so that is why I made these. And even any additions also I can just adjust there. And so while studying, even I can focus on some other areas where I missed out. So this is very handy. So I like this approach, and I want to continue like this only.
So, Manvita, let's say somebody who is yet to start audit, largely this will be helpful for them.
Definitely.
Now, before doing this cycle here at HLS, before this 1 week, what were the three topmost challenges you had regarding audit? And at the end of the cycle, how did they get resolved? What is a cost benefit analysis of investing this 1 week in this manner so that they'll be able to correlate it? So, what are the three challenges you had when it comes to audit before starting the cycle?
Before starting, I think the subject itself is a big challenge.
So, first is at a mindset level, you are not comfortable with audit. Next.
And then even if you see, the syllabus is very vast. So coverage is another aspect. Like how do you cover so much?
Yes.
That is one challenge. And third one, memorizing and retention. That is largely a
Even
challenge.
Study,
not just for me, for everyone. That's the.
So at the end of the cycle, right now when you have these are your assets, right? Investment of 1 week is your asset. This is converted. Now, what are the three clear benefits which you saw after spending that 1 week bootcamp at HLS?
Three benefits.
Three benefits after the 1 week. After that, what are the three things that have changed about audit after the week? Now, at this junction.
Okay. Now I feel I don't really have to worry about the subject as I used to do.
So you're no longer worried about audit?
Yeah.
Before just in a week it got resolved.
Yeah,
in a week.
got resolved. Yeah. And yeah, I can get to revise many times. I think that is a big problem for most students.
Because earlier it was in a textbook format, whether it's the author's book or ICAI, you would not be able to revise it.
Yes.
So now it came down into a revisable format where you are sure that you can revise it multiple times.
And I've also prepared notes in such a manner that also question based theory is covered in it. So if the question is asked in such a way, you have to write this particular answer. Most people are not sure of what to write in audit. That's why people lose marks. So that way, I think both the content and the questions both are covered in my notes. So it is just yeah.
So this can be a logical substitute to the institute material where you can answer up to 35 to 40 marks easily from this. Right? You are clear. Revise this. Now let's get to the process. Now you did it along with a team of students. So how was the group discussion helpful in doing this? What is the method in terms of doing the notes?
So so there's a topic we split the chapter into various topics, and we were assigned like individual topics for each person, and then they would just read because now their studying part is limited.
Yes.
So even not for studying for themselves, to explain, they would study much better.
Yes.
So that way we have like split into a team, and then we have split the topics, and then each one is like made to explain to the others. So that way it is made easy, and also you can get clarity because each one will focus on that one topic properly, so they'll give 100%.
So now to help them understand the team study, we call it the team study. So what are the three benefits of doing all of this as a team together along with their study buddies?
I would suggest to have a study partner for sure, because audit cannot happen in isolation. Especially, yeah. So that is one thing I would strongly recommend. Study partner, and also 1 hour of audit in your everyday cycle should be implemented for sure, because you tend to forget easily. So that is one thing. Like it should be part and parcel of your like everyday schedule. It should be done every day, and or like you can have like a quiz round or something like that. To make the subject very interesting. Otherwise, we tend to ignore it, or we don't revise it properly. So Q&A.
For you to understand how this is done, probably you can go to our Lab School channel, and here is where we have done this as a group. So I think there are a couple of videos which we mentioned here. I think, so when you did this in this order, I think this is your group audit, right? This is how you did your group audit. So when you did this chapter together with 4 or 5 people together, what was the approach? Now when you're sitting in an environment like that, and when you're studying, how is it different? So how is studying audit like this different from you studying alone or studying in a regular coaching center or sitting at home? So what difference did you see while you did this in this approach as compared to some other approach?
I felt there was progress, because it's easy to say that you sit in a room and study for so many hours, but when you practically implement it, there are so many challenges that you cannot go ahead with the syllabus, or you cannot even remember anything what's there in the subject. So doing like this, first of all, it didn't feel like a study session at all. It was very a pleasant, like group of friends sitting and just uh, talking and just discussing. It didn't feel like a study session also. So I think this environment is more nice to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Now coming back to this, because if you look at the next aspect, chapter number 19, because These are Q&A based. 19, as I said, it's discretionary judgment based. Now you have to look at discretionary judgment based. So, what was your approach, or how was your approach different for this? Yeah, professional ethics. Yes, I think here on there, right? So, how was your approach different when it came to professional ethics? What did you do? Because we gave you only 1 day to capture as much as you can, and you have done some reasonable understanding in terms of how you have written the note, and you have mentioned the extra space to add points later point of time. So, professional ethics is coming to this, 10 marks coming to this. So, what was the approach you followed? How helpful was it?
First, we try to understand the framework of professional ethics itself. So, that overview I think we have just written here. This is about the schedules and paths and clauses. And we try to read the clause and explain to all others like what we understood from that clause. And then I think it is clauses are largely memorizing, so
Yes.
it will take some time to memorize. And once the memorizing part is done, and next we go to the questions.
Yes.
So memorizing is not just one thing that happens in professional ethics. Like you should also identify the clauses from which clause it's being asked from. So after this, this phase is for the questions. Like say the referral fees, like to which clause it comes under. So that way you can just finish professional ethics easily without a big book. So yeah, so that's what questions we write here, so that you can just do the clause and then question. So easy to identify. It doesn't take much time.
Okay. So overall, now as we stand, in a week's time, are you able to believe that you're going to cross at least 40 to 45 on it?
Yeah, I think with this, definitely, even for a person who's scared of audit, I think can slightly push the score from 40 to 45 to 50. And yeah, as we do multiple revisions, I think we can pretty much expect more than 45. I think more than that, it depends from person to person, but yeah.
So can
can
we officially say that on record now? It's been 1 week. This is the latest approach, as I said, after multiple years of experimentation and looking at the questions and the question processing. This is what will work for sure. 1 week of intense boot camp style learning along with the group. There's 1 week of mentor-driven intervention. In 15 days, can you see that 40 on the cards?
Yes.
If somebody trusts and follows, it can happen, right?
Yes.
So can we officially say that to everyone watching this? Because somebody coming and not doing it, I can't do anything. But if somebody follows the process, so do we agree that HLS has a blueprint to help somebody move from 0 to 40 in 15 days? It's far more effective than hundreds and hours of coaching.
Yes. This 15 days plus every day of revising the subject.
See that anyways has to happen in any ecosystem. Multiple types of revision has to anyways happen. But at a fundamental level, what is happening is, let's say, imagine somebody has written audit for 4 attempts, 6 attempts, 8 attempts. Still, the score is not moving much, and they're getting stuck, right? So this is a significant upgrade in terms of their intellectual understanding of the audit. Further from this, they have to write mocks, they have to revise. All of this has to happen. But I want to say that this is the most effective way to
this is the foundation level.
Foundation level. See, if you have 15 days on audit, I don't think there is a better way than this. This is exactly what I want to practically do. Okay. So now we are reasonably clear that we are going to clear. Thanks, Manjuda, for your insights. And not just our strategy, it all depends on our implementation capabilities. Now, this holds around 40 to 50 marks. That's it. This can be revised at least 5 times clearly before the exam. Easily, we can revise 5 times. So, this is exactly why we will be able to, bring those miraculous changes. So, we of course can have only limited people here. All of you know that. But even if you're watching it sitting in your home, please try to follow this approach, doing it alone or along with your friends. So this is why we keep sharing this insights. And if you are interested to join the waitlist for our program, you don't have a direct admission process. You have to apply and wait for the waitlist. If you're interested, you can join using the link. Okay, there's a Google link in the description of the video. Apply. We'll reach out to it and then talk to it. Okay, thank you very much.